Hi, I'm Mrs. Lee, founder and teacher at the 7th Head Singapore. As PSLE inches closer, students are probably buried in a sea of science notes and assessment. With this constant revision, most students have no problem understanding the key concepts. They score well for booklet A, but start failing booklet B, pulling the marks of their examination down drastically. They often hear teachers say, "I need the keywords." But many students and parents alike don't understand why variation of the answers are not allowed. This is because different people reading the same words may interpret it differently, so the teachers will have to play a guessing game when the answers become ambiguous. And the marking system will then become a question of leniency and is subjected to biasness. So to standardize marking and to ensure fairness to all, answers cannot be ambiguous. There is a certain set of words that are acceptable, and the rest, although can mean the same thing, are not acceptable. Let's look at this question. Kevin was lifting some weights. Explain what happened to his breathing rate as he continued lifting the weights. Using this example, I will show you some answers that are considered incorrect and why, as well as some answers that are acceptable. When looking at this question, most students should be able to tell that the topic tested is on human respiratory system. Now let's look at some answers and discuss why they are not awarded the full marks or any marks at all. The breathing rate increases. The question says, explain what happens. What the student has done over here is merely stating the observation. The teachers will at best credit only 1 mark or even 0 mark for this answer. This is especially true nowadays as half mark is no longer awarded for PSLE Science Booklet B. A pupil either get 1 mark or 0 for a 1 mark question, and for a 2 mark question, they will only get 1 mark if he or she manages to explain one complete point correctly. So this answer here is incomplete. What the student has done over here is merely stating the observation. The observation is basically what you can see or measure during an experiment. If the answer says, state what happened to his breathing rate, he will be able to get full marks for his answer then. But usually with question asking you to state what happens, you are usually only credited 1 mark. How many marks do you think this answer will get? Unfortunately, this answer is only worth 1 mark as well. This is in fact 1 complete point. The previous answer was less than 1 complete point. So why is this answer only 1 mark? We know that breathing rate increases to help us breathe in more oxygen, but why now? Why breathe in more when he continued lifting weights instead of when he was at rest? Now let's look at this answer. Well done. Now this next student was able to explain why breathing rate increases when he continued lifting weights. But that doesn't mean he is getting the full marks. He failed to outline the process that allows this energy to be produced. Now this answer. He has explained the process that helps us produce energy. It's respiration. You might think that the answer is complete. However, it isn't. It did not demonstrate the need of oxygen for respiration. Now look at this answer. Does it look like the perfect answer already? As lengthy as the answer is, the student forgot to state down the observation of the breathing rate. Explanation question involves first stating the observation before going on to explaining it. He left out the crucial point that the breathing rate will increase. Before you start thinking, there's so many points for a 2-mark question. Remember that I mentioned the half mark is no longer awarded for PSLE Science Booklet B? For a 2-mark question, a student will only get 1 mark if he or she manages to explain one complete point correctly. Based on previous marking schemes, many of the answers above can score up to 1.5 marks, but it's no longer the case now. Let me explain the key concepts they are hoping to see you demonstrate in the answer. These are 2 key concepts you learn in human respiratory system. Respiration takes place to produce energy, and oxygen is needed for respiration to take place. These 2 key concepts make up 2 full points, which gives you 2 full marks. Now, let's look at the model answer. This answer states the observation, the need for oxygen, which is used for respiration, to create more energy. So this over here will be a complete answer. These are some of the other ways that the question can be answered. But notice it all reflects the same two concepts that we learned. That respiration is needed to produce energy, and that oxygen is needed for respiration to take place. But now it doesn't mean that the more explanation you squeeze into that 3 lines on the paper, it means you get full marks. When you excessively write irrelevant information down, the teachers will deduct marks for it. And since we no longer credit half marks, means we no longer deduct half marks. And you can end up getting 0 for a 1-mark question. This answer here has all the points needed for getting the full marks. But they are asking for breathing rate only, meaning they are asking about the respiratory system. Heart pumping blood around the body is about the circulatory system. So in this case, it is irrelevant to the question. And irrelevant information are penalized as well. It's like someone asking you, what did you drink? And you answered, apple juice, sugar rice and egg, and a chocolate cake for dessert. They are not doubting that you did order all those food, but they are only interested in what you drank, not what you ate. So although your answer holds truth, it sounded confusing, as if you thought that they were asking you what you had for lunch instead of what you drank. The same applies for PSLE questions. When you provide too much information, it seems to the marker that you did not understand the question, so you get penalized. During PSLE Final Lab, we're going to look at the basic key concepts and challenging questions. The 12 weeks online program is not a one-way lecture, but a two-way learning journey. Handouts will be provided so students can take notes and follow through the online classes. Students will also be receiving topical practice papers to assess their learning. Throughout these 12 weeks, a designated email will be open for participants to raise questions, and time will be allocated during the classes to address common questions. For more information on the program details and topics covered, check out our website or feel free to contact us. Let's sprint towards the end of the final lap of PSLE. Good luck and stay safe.